A big off-season for the Roosters, but coach Trent Robinson is putting on a brave face.
Trent, does this season loom as the most challenging of your coaching career?
No, it's just it's an exciting season. Looking forward to this year. There's a lot being made about what we don't have, but the guys that step into those roles have been here for a while. So looking forward to the season.
Are you banking on youth and experience to play to the same level as the blokes you've lost?
No, that's not how it works. You sort of senior players step up. They're a year older. They play more games. They take on those leadership roles. So it's really about that crew taking on that role, and then you give time for those young guys, give you energy.
I'd expect nothing less from Robbo, one of the great coaches, really just focusing on the positive and the players that he's got in front of him. But as you can see here, there is still a major concern, regardless of what Coach Trent Robinson says. Jared, Luke Keary, Manu, I could go on, the list goes on, but look at the bottom there. The total of NRL games missing, 1,278 just over the pre-season. That is astronomical.
I'll tell you what they didn't need. They didn't need Spencer Leniu being unavailable as well. That was just the icing on the cake for this game. I can't believe, look, we're talking about odds here, but they are being undersold, aren't they? Everyone just expects Brisbane to run through them tomorrow night.
Don't?
I just want to... They've still got some class in their team. Are they as good? No, of course they're not as good. They've still got players that know how to win.
I just look at that list that was on the screen a minute ago, Dan, and the amount of experience from Jared up the top there, strike in the middle with Manu and Joseph Suaalii, the key playmaker in Sammy Walker out for the majority of the season. I think the Roosters are absolutely pushing it uphill to make the 8 this year. I think this is the greatest challenge of Trent Robinson's coaching career. And I do think that Brisbane will handle them tomorrow night.
I had dinner with a few of the power brokers of the Roosters in Vegas. They were quite tight-lipped, but you've had a conversation with a few maybe over the past 24 hours.
Yeah,
are they concerned or not?
Braith, there's certainly... they're remaining quite bullish in regards to Robbo, specifically about Robbo, because we know that the noise is going to... The drums will start to beat if the Roosters start to lose a few games. But at this point in time...
You know what? The drums haven't. Over the I'm talking over the years, he's had a lot of success, but he has gone through a couple of, not many.
In fairness, he's won 3 comps,
and he's
only missed the finals once.
Totally, and he should be given time and respect. There's no doubt about that.
That's why it's not that's why it's not even a discussion point at the Roosters at this point.
But you believe this year, though, it's this year that the drums will beat.
Well, not only off back of losses, Braith. But that's natural. That's the game.
I'm talking if they do lose.
I still think I think they'll stay staunch.
Yep.
I really do.
Regardless of this year.
Because of what Hoops mentioned, that record is enough to get Robbo through. And
just the season.
And I don't think, look, guys, I don't think the roster overhaul at the Roosters has come as some great surprise. Yeah. Like it's not. It's the fact that they missed Dave Fafita. That hurt.
It's not just that. I reckon
Terrell May being tipped out. They're the changes.
But do you think they've recruited well?
No, I think this is one of the big issues.
Brandon Smith was a fail.
This is one of the big issues. It's probably the elephant in the room around the Chooks. In the area of recruitment and retention, normally they are absolutely up the top of the tree in terms of rival NRL clubs. If they want to buy or sign a player, they go out.
They are the benchmark.
They get it done. This time around, the last 3 to 4 years, recruitment and retention, I think that's where they've made some poor decisions. There's been a variety of different reasons why. The Brandon Smith signing has been well documented about a lot of the problems that have gone wrong there. We're going to talk about that later. But I really do believe it's the biggest challenge of Robbo's career. And I do genuinely think that from what we saw of them in the trials, I think it's going to be a tough season.
Yeah, but expectations are lower, right?
Of course they are.
So,
but it's the Roosters, Dan. Are they really low?
They
don't tolerate not
But no one expects the Roosters to win the comp this year.
Yeah, but that's not the point. You've just sat there. They still have some decent players. There'll be plenty of other coaches in the comp that would love Tedesco, Crichton,
Radley,
Collins, Radley, Daniel Tupou,
Leniu,
Dom Young.
Yeah, they'll beat a lot of teams home.
So we're not crying poor here.
Well, what's a pass mark?
I think top 8's a good result.
Okay.
Do you not?
I agree.
If they
No, I
get
agree.
into the
This
top
year,
eight,
I agree.
that's a pretty good year.
Which is unusual, right? But for the Roosters. But
Yes.
I think if they make the top 8, it's a part.
If they had Sam Walker available all year, to a lesser extent Smith, then expectations would be higher.
Definitely.
But what
Yes.
they're up against, top 8's pretty. I know it's the Roosters, but top 8's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
Top 8's definitely an enormous win for the club, I think, this season.
All right, let's get more into the Brendan Smith situation. What is going on there? We're hearing rumours. Well, we know that he won't be there next year.
Yeah.
Do we know where he may be heading?
The Roosters told Brandon some time ago, obviously when they signed Trent Robinson, that we won't be extending you beyond 2025. This is a fascinating narrative, Braith, because we know how much the Roosters and South Sydney loathe one another.
Really?
But I think that the Bunnies are absolutely having a look at Brandon.
Are they the
and
front runners?
I wouldn't be surprised if a coach like Wayne Bennett and his track record of being able to fix players who things might have gone a little bit sideways for, and they might need a little bit of a cuddle, and perhaps things have gone
You know what?
slightly
With Cameron
skew.
Murray going down too, right, with that Achilles, and he's had some injuries the past couple of years, and the middle forward, I see him more as a middle forward with late footwork, powerful, quick play the ball. I think, and you can play him at 9, wherever they want to play him, and they are short of 9 at South too. If Mamazoulis doesn't become the player they want him to be or fulfil his potential, there's a couple of positions that he could play at the Bunnies. That's an interesting one.
Well, the funny thing is, this time last year it was raised, or in the middle of last year, and Nick Politis, the boss of the Roosters, went absolutely no way.
That's
He's not
another
going
thing.
to Souths. But I get the impression as though that tune might have changed a little bit now.
Yeah,
Perhaps there's a little bit more bend.
Maybe it's on purpose. Maybe there's a little, I don't know. I don't want to go too further with that. Rich.
Hoops is Marl spot on. It's the increasing talk within the game that Brandon Smith's on his way to South Sydney.
Okay.
He's on his way there. That's the discussion. And for me, I still see it as a risk. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the salary that is being put forward, but for me, it's still a risk. And when you think about South Sydney's situation, they're backing Peter Mamazoulis to play in the dummy half role. Saliva Havili's that rotating dummy half, plays a little bit power forward like Brandon does. But for everything, we've spoken about the Roosters, we've spoken about the recruitment. They got this one wrong. Yeah.